Good day, greetings and salutations. My name is Bron Hogan, and today's guest on the Travel With Us a While podcast is Irene Bakshi. I may have pronounced it incorrectly. She is known as Irene Adventurette on the Facebook page, and it's her Facebook page that drew me to her. Her photography is phenomenal, absolutely beautiful, stunning places that just make me want to rush there and go and do the same thing in my travels. But what really drew me to her is she posted a quote, and it says, "Comfort is overrated. Fear is terrible, coach, and the best moments don't come from playing it safe. They come from saying yes before you're actually ready, doing the things that make your stomach flip, and actually showing up for your own life. Time doesn't wait, memories fade, and no one remembers a version of you that stayed small. So live loud, live hard, take the photos, start the conversation, take the leap. Existing is easy and living takes guts." And I would add to that, but gee whiz, it's worth it. So without further ado, Irene, the floor is yours.
Hi, Bron, and thanks for having me on your little podcast. And yeah, I just like to live life to the fullest because we don't know how long we have. So yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So how long have you been on the road?
I have a home base now, which is in Tasmania,
Lovely.
like yourself. So yeah, I travel for probably 6 to 8 months a year at the moment, and then come back to home base Tasmania and get grounded again, basically. Yeah, and I chose Tassie just due to the fact that it is such an adventurous little state in Australia. It has everything in it, jam-packed. You can do sailing, hiking, mountain biking, kayaking. There's just so much to do. Tasmania is amazing for it, and it's kind of made me the person I am now because I moved here, 15 years ago.
Wow.
And yeah, I just wanted a change from my life because I was living in America at the time, and then came back to Australia and had a bit of time in Queensland, which is where all my family's from and where I was born. So yeah, I had some time over there and it just didn't feel right. So I was putting out feelers of where I could call a home base, I guess. And I'd been to Tassie before and it kind of struck a chord with me. And so I decided to buy a house in a little place called Medina. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I do. Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit out of town, and it's the gateway to the southwest, which is really remote and amazing area. So I bought a home there and just started exploring Tasmania and realized, yeah, this is an excellent home base. And that's where I really discovered my complete passion for hiking, and it's really changed me as a person. I know that might sound a bit strange, but
No,
yeah.
not at all. Not at all.
So hiking, just day walks at the start, and it turned into I wanted more from it. I went into the multi-day hiking, a lot of it solo, and yeah, I learned a lot about myself, how much I can push myself,
Absolutely.
confidence, and things like that. So it was really eye-opening. And it's shaped me a lot, and it's made me able to travel internationally better, which may sound strange, but it's given me to do that. And yeah, and so now I do adventures a couple of weeks out there and off-track adventures in Tassie, hiking. So yeah, that's really opened a lot of doors for me. And yeah, basically, whenever I come back to Tassie, I go straight out onto the track just to ground myself again. Just because after I travel, because I travel for a fair few months at a time, I get kind of almost down when I come back to Australia. And I found Tassie and hiking stopped that from happening. So I get straight out onto the track. I recently came back from a trip around the top end of Australia, and yeah, I've literally just got back in the door with my hiking gear, still on the ground here. And yeah, I went out for a 3-day hike, and I just feel like, yes, Tassie's home, I'm back home, and it's all good. So yeah.
Absolutely. So I come from Africa. You probably can hear that in my accent.
Yes.
And I moved to Tasmania 34 years ago or more, maybe 1991.
Hmm.
And I have lived here on and off and done a lot of traveling. And my partner Ken, for the last 13, 14 years, we have a sailboat and we literally would go sailing for years and come back and touch base. But there's something so magic about Tassie to come back and just like 20 minutes down the road in any direction, you're in the wild, you're in a place
Yes.
that's you can climb up or climb down or go in the beach or swim in a lake, and it's just amazing. I can't say how much I love coming home, even
Yeah,
though I love what I do when I'm traveling. So I
definitely.
definitely
Yeah.
I can relate to you. Have you got plans for the future for bigger trips on the mainland?
Probably not in Australia, because I have explored it a fair bit. I've done forward driving and a lot of road trips around Australia, especially the eastern side. So
Yeah.
my plans are more internationally now. So I try to get out of Australia for about 4 to 6 months a year. I just came back from Kyrgyzstan about 2, 3 months ago, and that was an
Wow.
amazing experience. And it was all spur of the moment and spontaneous because I was actually meant to be going to Iran and the bombing actually happened. So I had to make plans to go somewhere else, and I was on the call with Emirates, and they told me all the prices had gone crazy sky high because of what had happened. And I just said, look, listen, I just need to get out and have an adventure. So just find me somewhere for the same price. And they said, have you ever been to Kyrgyzstan? And I said, nope, book me. So I
I love
was there a couple of days later. So yeah.
that's magic. And so do you travel by yourself?
Yeah, I do travel by myself
So
most of
much
the
freedom
time.
then.
Yeah,
Yes.
complete freedom. And yeah, I get to do what I want. And I find when you travel solo, you get to experience more of the people and culture of the next country that you go to, just because people will come up to you, they'll talk to you, or you're more forced to talk to them. And yeah, people really appreciate a foreigner coming up and having a good old chat to them. So it's brought me
Absolutely.
out of my shell that way a lot.
That's amazing. And some of the connections, they can last a lifetime because you
God,
just
yeah.
somehow the planets align and you meet them somewhere else and you think, oh my goodness, I met you there. And yeah,
Definitely.
I love that.
Yes, yeah. So meeting people from all over the world. Sometimes, if there are other travelers like myself, you will literally meet them at the airport. You'll just see them, and it's like, oh my God, and you have a good old chat about what you've been up to. And yeah, so that's amazing. And then people in small villages. I helped out a couple in Fiji when I was there. This is many years ago now, probably 12 years ago. And they had a family, and they barely make any money in Fiji, especially when I was
I
there. I think
know
it was
this.
like
Yes.
$7 a week or something. It was
Um,
crazy. Yeah, and they had a family and they lived quite remotely, but the parents were both working at the resort that I was staying at. I don't usually stay at resorts, but this time I did. And yeah, the gentleman said, "Oh, would you like to go on a hike to my village?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." I didn't realize the village was a 3-day hike.
God,
So
I love that.
when I got there, I got to spend time with his family and everything, and it was amazing. And I ended up buying them a car over there, which is it was only a cheap car, like $500 or something. And still to this day, I get Christmas cards from them, and yeah, and it was
That
just
would have,
amazing. So that was over 15 years ago, and I still keep in touch with them.
and that's something that is just, it's a little thing in the scheme of things, but it changed their lives, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. So the children could actually go to school, and they used to send me pictures of like what they were doing in school because they didn't have that opportunity because they lived too far away. The walk was
Yes.
too far, so they actually got the
Oh, wow.
opportunity to go to school, which was amazing. I was
That is.
so proud of
Gosh.
them.
Well done indeed. Well, what we found when we were sailing there, because we spent
Mm,
6 years, 6.5 years sailing around the South Pacific Islands, and when we
beautiful.
were in Fiji, Tonga, Vanuatu, those really remote little, not very rich communities.
Yes.
Ken loves fishing, and would catch these monster fish, and we would then go ashore with them and give them to the first kid we saw.
Yeah.
And I've got the most wonderful photo of this little boy of about 8 years old with this huge fish on his shoulder, waddling as quickly as he could down to show his mummy what he'd got. So we went exploring, and after about half an hour, the mother was back with all this produce and she said from my garden. So I don't know, you probably understand what a garden is for them. It's like their little farm patch, which is very little. And we tried to explain that there were just two of us on the boat. We didn't need all this, but they were getting so upset that we didn't take, it was an awkward situation. And
Yes.
once we realized that we didn't offend anybody by doing this, and we began to understand that the people that had nothing could only fish from the shore, whereas the people who could afford a little boat got the deep,
yeah.
good fish. So we made sure we gave it to the right people when we came.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was always such a rewarding thing. It was just fun.
Definitely is, yeah. And they're so generous. I find a lot of the
Yes.
poorer countries or poorer areas, the people
Yes.
there are just unbelievably humble and generous, and it's really eye-opening. And yeah, I really enjoy seeing that part of cultures. So yeah.
Oh, we were so fortunate. We were sailing in Vanuatu, and we were sailing with a couple who were doing a circumnavigation around the world, and they were from England.
Yes.
And we anchored at this one island, and she'd arranged with a sailing club or whatever to take books for the school there. So we got to meet the teacher. But when we arrived there, and after we'd met the teacher and really been shown very well this whole little island community, they said, well, we actually have 4 weddings tomorrow. Please, would you come? We'd be very honored if you came. Yeah, attended this wedding where 4 couples that had been obviously living and procreating because there were children everywhere.
Yeah.
And they got married once the man had built a forever home for his wife and the family.
Yeah.
And each, the bride price was 10 pigs.
Yes.
The mats that they make, pandani mats.
Yes.
And other produce, and it was one of the most moving things to watch. And it was just like, wow, we have no idea. They wanted us to stay for food, and we thought, no, there's 200 people here, thanks, but we'll decline because you got to feed all these other people.
Yeah.
And little things like that just happen if you go slowly.
Definitely. Definitely.
And communicate with people wherever you go.
Definitely, I agree completely. Just opening yourself up and saying yes to people, and yeah, just talking. You learn so much about people because they're amazing little spots that they have as well. So,
My goodness,
yeah, but
that's true. Yes.
I ventured to Pakistan for a fair few months, actually, almost half a year. And it was just truly amazing how many people just invited you into their homes and into their lives. They were buying all kinds of things and just making you feel like part of the family. It was crazy. And they didn't know me whatsoever.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm always floored by that generosity around the world.
So when I grew up in Zimbabwe, it was Rhodesia when I was there, and my dad owned a garage, a service station, and in a little remote town. And we often had people who broke down and would come. So we had in our house as it was in the time, very long hallway. And sometimes we'd wake up in the morning and there would be people sleeping in the beds because the farmers' rivers had been flooded and things like that. And whenever I woke up and found all these more kids, for me, I didn't think, oh God, the stress, the farmer can't get there to milk his cows. I just thought it was so wonderful. And the times when Ken and I were traveling and people just come in and put an extra place for it to sit on, just brought back that memory of you just help people and make them happy and share.
Definitely. I think it's amazing, and it's one of the things that does keep me traveling a lot is the human spirit, and it makes a trip very different if I was to keep to myself or just allow people.
I have done one cruise, and I just thought, well, yeah, this is quite fun, but no. And then when I went to the same places, well, it's a similar, like they're cruises that go all through the South Pacific. And we see them, they dock, and these people line up, and they go there, and they go there, and they go there. And they all go together. And when we go, we take our dinghy, and we take it ashore, and we go to places where we're the only people. Sometimes there's only 2 families living on that little island.
Yeah.
And I don't have to tell you which place I prefer to go to.
Definitely. I feel the same way. That's why I travel solo, and I don't do tours very often.
No.
So I just buy motorcycles a lot when I'm overseas.
Yes.
So that's my form of transport. And I can get into some amazing remote communities and mountains and nature. And yeah, so it's really lovely to get to know the more authentic, not the
Yes.
touristy side of every culture and
Absolutely.
country.
I
So
totally agree.
yeah.
Have you ever had people say to you, "Oh, but aren't you afraid to travel by yourself?" Because I
Yes,
had that all my life.
yes, it's constant. I still get it. Like, I just came down off of just a truck in Tasmania, and there was a lady, and she was like, "Are you traveling by yourself?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's just a little hike." And she was floored by it, and because she just was doing the overland truck and with a whole bunch of friends, and they just couldn't get over. Like, I was just solo up in the mountains in Tassie, and yeah, so I do get that a lot, and I don't know. I think you just build up a confidence over time, and yeah, you slowly you you
I
build up
think
a
you need
confidence within yourself. I think is the main
yes,
thing. And then you allow yourself to make mistakes as well because that's where you're learning a lot from.
absolutely.
People people aren't that scary. I know people are like, oh my god, you're going to that country and they're gonna do this and that to you, and it's not like that whatsoever. People are pretty amazing, and yeah, if you do need a hand, just ask. So
Yeah, it was,
yeah.
but Ken and I, we didn't sail this time. We flew to New Caledonia, and there's still apparently civil unrest there, but
Yes.
we didn't. We could see all the people there to protect everybody, and we accidentally went into an area because we're not very good with our French.
Yeah.
Our friends had lent us a car, and we were tootling around there. And Google Maps is wonderful, but when it's a French name being said in an English accent, it
Yes.
doesn't relate to the name on the road. So we
Yeah.
often did an alternative route, and I can just remember feeling they told us don't come to this area, but Google brought us here, and well, we just got to get out of it. What the hell?
Yeah.
And you just think people aren't really going out to kill everybody. I've
No.
learned.
No. And I think most of a lot of people overthink situations. Like, I just now go in with an open mind, see what happens, and deal with whatever happens when it happens. There's no point
I like
worrying
that.
about it
I like that.
beforehand. So yeah.
I just share with you that when I was 17, I went and worked in a camp. I helped a boyfriend build a photographic safari camp in the Okavanga swamps in
Wow.
Botswana.
Yeah.
And we'd been there for a week, and he
Yeah.
said, "Oh, I have to fly up to the ranch that's over there. And so you're in charge." So I was in this camp in the middle of Whoop Whoop. Across the river was a man, but it would take him 30 minutes to get to me if I needed help. So I had a rifle, and he said, "Well, just fire 3 shots and he'll come if you need assistance." And so the reason I had the rifle was because we were building the camp, and the camp was literally on a piece of paper and vaguely the measurements. Well, I have no concept of space. So I drew on the ground a piece with a stick to say how big this, measuring it like this man had
Yeah.
told me. And there were 3 young teenagers that were doing the building of the mud door place for us for the kitchen.
Mm.
And I kept looking at it and thinking, it's too small, it's too small. So if you ever go to Botswana and find the biggest kitchen in the world, it's because of me.
No.
Oh, it was so silly. And it was really funny because when I'd had enough of playing Safari Guide, because eventually we did take safaris, I came back to Bulawayo, which was the city, and I had a job there. And I was staying in what was called, we call them digs, if, yeah, I'm just trying to
Yes.
think
Yeah.
of like it was just a room above a shopping complex.
Hmm.
It had aspidistras, and it was something out of Agatha Christie. I
Wow.
was more frightened there than I was in the middle of the bush.
Yes. Yes, I completely agree with that. I'm always a bit more hesitant in cities and towns and around,
Yeah,
yeah, more unnatural things.
for sure. And so you say you do work still?
At the moment, I'm having some time off. I will see what
Good.
happens.
Yeah.
But
So you go with the flow, I take it.
yeah, definitely. I'm a agency nurse, so I can just travel around and pick up work if I need
Anyway,
to. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
So
that makes it easy.
I think I like your little quote that I read that you'd written above another quote, because your quote was better than the one you shared on your Facebook page I'm talking about. Because my mother always said to me, just say yes
Yeah.
and figure out how you can do it afterwards. And I can remember saying yes, and I ended up being a mine photographer for a diamond mine in Namibia. And another time, I did know how to do photographic, developing and printing photographs.
Yeah.
And I started going around in helicopter just because I said yes. And
Yeah.
another time, oh gosh, there's so many. I don't want to bore you with my stories, but that has defined me. Is that you can find out how to do it. If it feels right, go for it. This is what I'm trying to teach my
Definitely.
grandchildren.
Yeah,
Just use your gut.
definitely agree. So my mother actually passed away when I was a teenager, and she always instilled in me and my brother that you go out and you live your life for every moment that you have, basically. So that's what I do, because you don't know when your time is going to be up. And I saw, because my mum died at 42 years old, and
Wow.
yeah, so it's young. So you just got to fill your life with as much as you can that
Yes,
lights you up, that you're passionate about. Being stuck in 9 to 5 and things like that, you need to get out. You need to live. You really do.
absolutely. I have lost two very dear men that I loved and to cancers, different cancers.
Yeah,
It just reinforces the fact that
definitely.
life is not infinite. You have to do every day, do something good, enjoy it, make
Yes,
somebody laugh, smile. Smiles are magic. They fix anybody. And if you can't speak their language, you've got to stick on the ground and you can draw a picture.
exactly. I've done that many a time.
I thought you might relate to that. Unfortunately, so have I. I share with you the funny story. We stayed with our friends that live in New Caledonia, and
Yeah.
we'd met them in Vanuatu sailing. So we'd seen them a lot. So we even delivered their yacht back because it got caught in COVID. And they have a little boy of 5 and a little girl who just turned 1. So you know that the Google Translate is really effective, but we wanted one that we could use with the little kids that they could press the button and maybe help them to speak French.
Yes, yes.
So we bought this, I can't remember the make of it, and it worked very well if you were speaking to an adult. But if you spoke to a kid, they don't speak the same French that the
Yeah.
parents do. So that was a fail. We went back to drawing pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. Drawing pictures is always good. Because I'm around motorcycles a lot when I'm traveling internationally, a lot of the motorcycle community, you're just making sounds to them. Like if something goes wrong with the engine, you're like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr, rrr," and they understand you, and it's like, yay! Instead of trying
Yeah,
to
I love that.
pronounce it,
I
and
love that.
yeah.
Oh God, that's just perfect, really. Absolutely. I love. Yeah, and you can connect with people without actually having to say very much at all.
Exactly. Your facial expressions, your hand movements, and yeah,
This is only put up the audio, but I have to see people because I can't read them unless I can see them.
yes, yeah. No, I completely understand.
So, Irene, it's been absolutely wonderful having you on this podcast. And any special advice you'd like to give the travelers out there that are thinking, oh, I'd love to do what she does, but I don't know how to start? That would be a good thing.
Just go for it. Like, really, don't overthink it and just take that first step because it's amazing when you do. Like, the people you meet, the places you see, the cultures you experience, it is phenomenal. It will change you. It will change you as a person. So go out and just do it.
I agree. Well, thank you very much. If you have enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe and know that I will create a blog post with using Irene's lovely images and share that as well.